Hello, hello, hello. It's Knits for Sanity, and welcome to day 9 of my holiday celebration with Add More Zest's Zesty Advent Calendar Diamond Painting, as well as their 12 Days of Christmas 2022 Advent Calendar. As I've said before, there was a 24-day available, but it sold out super fast, and I am just really thankful and thrilled I was able to get the 12-day. Calendars, too, also sold out quickly. If you are interested, and hopefully she will continue this tradition and do this again next year, definitely go check out her channel, check out her store, and follow along with her so that you won't have to miss out next year. All right, so let's open up day number 9. I'm almost done, and I'm kind of sad. I've really enjoyed this Advent a lot. So let's see what it is. Oh, stoppers. All right, guys, check this out. We got a couple of metal stoppers here, a single placer as well as a multi-placer. This looks like it could be a 9-placer. Yes, it says 9-placer on the other side. I guess if I would have just looked at it closely, but yes, it is indeed a 9-placer. Very cool. Thank you so much, Add More Zest. Super happy. Oh, and look, it even says right here on the tags, I'm so busy just looking at the shiny product, you know. Awesome. Thank you. And how appropriate, a 9-placer on day 9 of the Advent calendar. I see what you're doing there. Very clever. All right, so day 9 is, down here in this corner. To be honest with you, this is, you won't really know this, but this will be I'm going to get started video, and then I'm going to have to pause and come back and complete video, but you aren't really going to know that because, of course, first, you're watching it this way. Second, the only really, interactive part for you with this video is at the beginning when I tell my holiday-related story, and then it's pretty much, I just fast forward the rest of it so that you can see the square done and super fast speed and see what the end result then looks like at the very end of the video. It's a crazy week. Next week is a crazy week. It just continues to be busy, but this week and next week especially, I feel like are really busy weeks. Hold on, I have a daughter here. She's homesick today. Yes, dear. She's just waving hello. Yeah, illness continues to be running rampant in the household. I had one kid homesick yesterday, and then another kiddo. Poor girl, it was first wrestling tournaments of the season. She was able to do the school dual assembly, which is a really cool idea. The high school invites another high school team to come over, and then they get the whole school together for an assembly for the last hour and a half or so of the day, and the whole school gets to watch this assembly together, which I think is just a really neat way to build some school spirit, and it gives a sport that the kids otherwise don't really come out and see. You know, it's not football, it's not basketball. Wrestling's kind of a B sport, as they say, although my daughter is standing here glaring. But anyway, she went to the dual meet yesterday, and then I told her she couldn't go last night because she looked pale and was clearly not feeling well. So she had to stay home last night and was kind of upset to learn that last night's duel was quite thrilling. She's now frowning and looks very angry that she had to miss it. But it was really exciting. We had a freshman, one of my students from last year, pulled off a remarkable pin. And because of that, it was that bout that decided the win for the team, which is really cool. It's not very often that it is a freshman who does something like that. And I know as the spectator, I was certainly not anticipating that. I mean, I knew how good this kid was. I had kind of accosted him last year at school when he threatened to quit the wrestling team. And I've talked about him before. So I talked to him then after the tournament last night and I'm not going to apologize for rather strongly encouraging you to stick with wrestling last year, but you're done with basketball now, right? He's like, yeah. And I said, you promised? And he said, yeah. I mean, obviously basketball is a fine sport. It's just between the two climates. The wrestling family is amazing. The team is amazing. And this kid has a true gift for wrestling. I mean, I feel like any old Joe Blow can play basketball, but not everyone can wrestle. Veda totally agrees with that. She's sheer nodding her head. She would maybe say so herself, but her throat is really hurting her. Anyway, she didn't get to go last night, and she's still a little bitter about it today. What I'm saying is it's wrestling season, which just means everything picks up. Plus, we have everything else going on. We have Quiz Bowl and Odyssey of the Mind and D&D and dance lessons and more wrestling and then more wrestling on top of that. So it's just really busy right now. And yeah, I had one kid homesick yesterday. I have another one homesick today. I had a daughter home a day last week and came home early one day because she wasn't feeling well. Everyone around here is sick, sick, sick. So please take care of yourselves. Be careful, be cautious, be smart. There is just so much going around, and I know it's not just like my part of the country. So take it easy, guys. Please take it easy. Take care of yourselves.
Mom.
Yes, dear?
Is day 8 the trees?
Yes.
I really like those, as well as day 3.
Beta likes day 8 and day 3. I do too. Guess I've kind of a lot to try and get back in there. All right, so as for holiday-related things, which, I mean, in our house, honestly, wrestling is kind of a holiday-related thing. But I understand that for most people, that's not the case. I get it. I do. My daughter has a hard time understanding why people would not be into wrestling. But half of her siblings and her own father aren't really that into it. This day is not going anything like what it should. And here's the really funny part is originally I was going to actually be home alone today. My son has some testing related to a rare genetic disease that runs in the family on the other side of the state. And my husband offered to take the day off from work and bring him, which was really nice. And so I originally was supposed to just be home alone all day, but now that's not the case. I got this one kid at home and I have another child who's been getting a hold of me. Oh, what I was saying is that actually wrestling kind of is a holiday related thing in our house. How we got into this sport is long and interesting. It is certainly nothing that I grew up with. It is nothing I had any interest in. It's nothing that I ever saw or anticipated taking up so much of my adult life. But here I am. It's year 8 that I have been fully invested in this sport because of my daughter. So if you want to check out more about that and hear more about her stories and stuff, I do have an Instagram account that you are welcome to follow. It's the same name, Knits for Sanity. And I posted about yesterday's bouts and everything. And just that's a good way that you can also see like more pictures of the kids and stuff and just learn some other little things going on in our lives. But now that I've talked this much about wrestling, I almost wonder if it's worth it for me to try and share any kind of a holiday story. I guess what I will do then is I will share what is kind of a repeat. Well, it is a repeat if you have kept up with my whippin' chats, like my regular whippin' chats. But by doing that, then I can share tomorrow's story, which branches off from this bit of knowledge that you really need to know ahead of time in order for tomorrow's story to make sense. So my husband's family, they always celebrated the 12 days of Christmas. Well, not always. I say always, meaning from the time that like I became part of the family about 20 years ago. they celebrated the 12 days of Christmas. And like I said, I've talked about this before. So if you have been following along with the Whip and Chats, you are familiar with this story. The 12 days of Christmas traditionally begins often the day after Christmas and then extends through the 6th of January, which is Epiphany, right? Isn't that Epiphany? I might have that wrong, which would be not good of me. But anyway, in my husband's family, there are other traditions that do actually have Christmas Day as the first day of Christmas. And in my husband's family, they do Christmas Day as the first day of Christmas. And the reason for that is because my husband had a younger sister named Catherine, or Kate, who her birthday was the 5th of January. And so by having Christmas Day be day 1, then your 12th day falls on Kate's birthday. And Kate was born with a pretty severe heart anomaly. My husband, incidentally, was born with a similar heart defect as well, but his was far more minor and was able to be treated as an infant and has really required no further maintenance. He has been encouraged in recent years, though, to check back in with a cardiologist. I guess just based on updated studies and stuff, he probably should go back in and find himself a cardiologist again. But anyway, he's doing fine. His sister, however, it was a far more severe situation, and she ended up passing away following her 3rd or 4th heart surgery at 17 months of age. But her birthday was January 5th. And so as a way to continue celebrating and remembering Kate within their family, and especially after Dave's younger brother was born, who came a few years after Kate had actually already passed away, it was then also a way for my husband's younger brother to be aware that, he has a sister out there, even though he never got to meet her. And so it was 12 days of small gifts. And then day 12 was actually always marked by my father-in-law would buy my mother-in-law a bouquet of roses with the same number of roses as years that Kate had been present in their lives. So translated the number of years that Kate would have been celebrating for her birthday that year. And by the time my mother-in-law passed away, almost 3 years ago now, there were well over 30 roses included in this enormous bouquet. And I always was very, very touched by this, and I thought it was a really neat tradition, and it's something that my mother-in-law continued to do with my children after I began having kids. For as long as she was able. Toward the end of her life, she was very, very ill. So that's important to know, that background story, and then also helps explain this part of the holiday tradition is with day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas being Christmas Day. Christmas Eve is kind of marked as, a lot of traditions, you do something then the night before, right? The eve. And in this case, it is actual Christmas Eve. And what the family does, and we still do this part of the tradition, is we do luminaries. We put out luminaries up and down the street that my father-in-law lives on. And, there's a nice little message included in the bag with the sand and the candle and everything. And the neighborhood has really come to appreciate this tradition. And it's kind of the way that they kick off, my husband's family has kicked off the start of the 12 days of Christmas for them. Now, another little interesting tidbit, in case this is a brand new story to you, my second daughter, the one who is homesick today, Veda, is named after her Aunt Kate by her middle name, Catherine. And Aunt Kate's birthday was the 5th of January. And Veda tried her darndest to enter this world on the 5th of January at 32 weeks gestation. So I went into preterm labor. I woke up that morning, ton of blood, and I was hospitalized for a few days. They were able to stall off labor for another 3 weeks. And so she ended up coming at 35 weeks, which actually ended up being the second longest gestation period of any of my children. Who knew 35 weeks was actually going to be considered a long pregnancy for me? So anyway, knowing all of that information, tomorrow I will tell a bit more to this story. Just some luminary related stories, if you will. And until then, sit back and relax. You can listen to a fun Christmas tune or holiday tune of some sort and see this completed square whenever I manage to get it done. And thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you in just a few minutes. I'm back. Look at how cute this square is. This is a snow globe. And again, look at that detail in just a little bitty square and a minimal number of colors. That is adorable. I love it. I also want to point out that I have started using this pen on another painting that I've been working on. It's a crystal canvas art design, so I single place those. And so I am just using the single pointer for this right now. But lovely, lovely little pen, part of my gifts from Add More Zest from their advent calendar. So just wanted to quickly show you that too. Otherwise, like I always say, please practice kindness. You never know what someone is going through. And yes, my son is joining us. He has a Crossy Road figure. So it's easier to just be kind. Thank you, Havelock. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you again very, very soon.